Hello everyone, welcome to the CEO's Third Channel. Today, let's talk about the wildly extravagant world of Saudi football. Just a few weeks ago, Saudi football club Al Nassr has announced a 2-year contract extension with Cristiano Ronaldo. In addition to an annual salary of over $200 million, he was also given a 15% stake in the club. That means Ronaldo earns around $550,000 per day in Saudi Arabia, about 5 million RMB daily. Earlier this year, the global athlete earnings ranking was released, and Ronaldo topped the list with a total income of $260 million. In second place was NBA star Stephen Curry with $154 million. Third was boxer Tyson Fury with $147 million. And fourth was Lionel Messi with $130 million, barely half of Ronaldo's earnings. Messi earns just $60 million per year, which is only a quarter of Ronaldo's income. Is the gap between Messi and Ronaldo really that huge? Well, this is exactly what people mean when they talk about the financial firepower of Saudi football. Benzema is also playing in Saudi Arabia, earning over $100 million a year. Other former European stars like Kanté, Mahrez, Firmino, and Mitrovic earn between $25 and $50 million. In contrast, European stars who haven't moved to Saudi earn far less. Currently, the highest paid is Kylian Mbappe at Real Madrid, with a salary of just $32 million per year. Most other star players at top European clubs earn around $20 million per year. Is Saudi football crazy or what? Why are they offering 10 times the salary to lure players? Turns out, it's not just Saudi Arabia. Over the past 20 years, Middle Eastern capital has been pouring into European football. Clubs like PSG, Manchester City, and Newcastle United have quietly been bought into. They've essentially put on the white headscarf. Saudi Arabia has already secured hosting rights for the 2034 FIFA World Cup.
The host of the FIFA World Cup 2034 will be Saudi Arabia.
Clearly, they're making a big move in football. But what's their true intention? Today, let's talk about this story. PIF, the Public Investment Fund, is Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund, founded in 1971. It manages nearly $1 trillion in assets and is effectively controlled by Crown Prince MBS. At first, PIF mainly invested in companies tied to the royal family. But after MBS took power, the fund went global. In 2016, it bought a 5% stake in Uber. By 2020, it acquired shares in Boeing, Facebook, and Citibank. At the same time, PIF also invested in major entertainment companies like Disney, EA, Blizzard, and Nintendo. After laying out its entertainment map, PIF turned to football, starting in April 2020. Led by MBS, a Saudi-backed consortium spent $300 million to buy Premier League club Newcastle United. At first, the Premier League rejected the deal, citing human rights concerns. But soon after, then UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson stepped in to push it through. Newcastle became part of Saudi Arabia's portfolio. But can PIF actually make money from this? According to the club's 2021 financial report, it was still losing money. Yet revenues nearly doubled. By 2025, the club is expected to turn a profit this year. Meanwhile, Newcastle has gone from relegation battles to title contenders. Newcastle is also expected to secure a long-term spot in the Champions League, a massive boost to PF's global influence. Back in Saudi Arabia, the country's top clubs, Al Nassr, Al Hilal, Al Ittihad, and Al Ahly, are all 70% owned by PF. Clearly, PIF isn't just trying to strengthen one club, but to raise the overall level of the Saudi League. Their stated goal? To make Saudi Arabia the world's 6th top league and to quadruple league revenue. Step 1 in that plan: bring in stars from Europe's top 5 leagues. They signed 20 star players and distributed them across clubs in the Saudi League. Saudi Arabia, or rather MBS himself, is using money power to rapidly boost the league's quality and commercial value. And it's working. Since Ronaldo and other stars joined, tourist visa applications to Saudi Arabia jumped by 215%. Match attendance rose by 40%. And the league is now broadcast in 125 countries and regions. From this angle, the investment doesn't seem like a loss at all. In 2008, UAE-owned City Football Group bought Manchester City, a struggling Premier League team at the time. With Middle Eastern funding, the club quickly rose to the top. Now a European powerhouse with a treble 4 consecutive league titles, and stars like Haaland. A similar story happened with PSG, bought by Qatar Sports Investments in 2011. They too became a football giant, just recently winning the Champions League. With Middle Eastern capital achieving big football success, Saudi Arabia couldn't sit still. Their Vision 2030 plan clearly states, by 2030 they aim to boost non-oil exports as a share of GDP. They plan to raise the share of non-oil exports from 16% to 50%. In other words, reduce reliance on oil. Football has become a key tool in Saudi Arabia's economic transformation, using star power to boost tourism, culture, and entertainment. At the same time, it helps shape a new national image. Some believe football is a form of rebranding for Saudi Arabia in the Middle East. In countries like Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE, their political systems differ greatly from those in the West. Royal families hold power and leaders are not elected. As a result, these nations often face criticism in the Western narrative. Especially with Crown Prince MBS being linked to the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, Saudi Arabia has felt the pressure. High-profile investments in sports and entertainment may be a way to shift Western attention, but criticism hasn't gone away. Many sports commentators argue that this disrupts the competitive balance of football, drowning the sport in money. Investigative journalists have also raised concerns about transparency and how these clubs are run. Manchester City, for instance, faced 110 financial charges from the Premier League, including a mysterious $30 million payment from a figure in the UAE, which wasn't reported as sponsorship income. PSG has also come under scrutiny. Star player Mbappé once faced obstacles transferring to Real Madrid, reportedly due to pressure from Qatar. The club even had to involve French President Macron to try to block the move. Newcastle's funding also came under scrutiny from UEFA, with suspicions of possible international money laundering. Meanwhile, the Saudi League itself has faced criticism. Sports figures argue that having 4 top clubs all owned by PIF undermines the integrity of competition, raising concerns about match fixing. Though PIF has since announced plans to sell these 4 clubs to separate investment groups, retaining only controlling stakes, one of them, Al Ahly Saudi Club, is already part of this restructuring. But is this just a shell game? Money moving from one hand to the other? This is the current state of Saudi football. Some Middle Eastern scholars argue it's not reckless spending, but a strategic, long-term industry upgrade. Whether the region can withstand pressure and realize its grand ambitions in sports remains to be seen. Let's hope we get to witness it. That's all for today's story. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.